Brought to you by Ayoko, Africa's leading integrated technology services company. It's time for Tech Talk. Now, DStv and Showmax subscriber prices are set to increase, and there's the VAT hike to factor in. At the half-year mark, MultiChoice reported a 99% slump in profit as subscriptions fell. Now, in a bid to retain customers, Africa's largest pay TV provider is offering a 2-year price lock contract, which it claims provides exceptional value and diverse entertainment options. Will you be locked in? Is it good value for money? And what does it mean for MultiChoice's financial woes? Business Day's Mudiwa Gavaza joins us to weigh in. Mudiwa, thanks so much for your time this afternoon. So MultiChoice in a very tough position, having to increase prices while consumers are under so much pressure.
So, good afternoon. I know that this one is a little bit sensitive to a lot of people, yes, because, like you said, a lot of consumers are under a lot of pressure. What we will give to the people at MultiChoice is that the price increases themselves aren't too crazy, especially on the DStv front. When I just take a quick cursory glance, the highest increase is just under 8%, right? But most of the other packages you're looking at, in the 5 to 7% type of range that they're dealing with. Interestingly enough, a lot of the price changes that we're seeing here is almost exactly the same as what we saw a year ago.
Yes.
So, for example, 2023 into 2024, because they always institute their new prices from the 1st of April. So this time last year, DStv Premium, for example, was 879, and then it moved 50 Rand, and then it was now 829. Now it moves another 50 Rand to 979. So it seems that they tried by all means to push up all of these various prices at roughly the same rates. It was one of the most amusing things to me when I was just doing the quick analysis that the actual Rand amounts look to be roughly the same on the satellite front. Streaming is a bit more on the extreme side. That's where we saw some of the bigger changes, especially on one of the Showmax products. You saw like an almost 44% jump. It's 30 Rand, but it is relatively a big jump because Showmax prices have tended to just be
flatline at some point. Yeah. And let's talk about on the higher end of DStv, the premium subscriptions, where it really bleeds the most subscribers, right? And I know you mentioned that the price increase on that front is not much, but it's still just under 1,000 Rand. And when I think about value for money here, 1,000 Rand for DStv, or 1,000 Rand for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney, you're getting all of those for less than 1,000 Rand.
For fear of sounding like a salesman for DStv, what we have to appreciate about the balancing act that MultiChoice does across all of its platforms is that they're able to bring content from various studios onto one platform. And if you were to go out and try and recreate the package that they're doing individually, you're likely gonna end up paying more. Right, and that has tended to be their strength. The amount of content that they have on DStv, from the various providers, think MTV, Comcast, VH1, Cartoon Network, Disney, BBC, Al Jazeera, the Mnet stable, all of the Africa Magics, all of that stuff in one place. In the United States or in developed countries, you're paying way more money, just to put, all of these packages together. However, we do need to realize that, of course, we are in South Africa. So in the local market, 1,000 Rand is a lot of money to be spending every single month. Unfortunately for MultiChoice and DStv, a lot of the content that they're paying for is in the international market. That's US dollar based pricing for especially the soccer and the sports that a lot of people love, the pricing for that stuff is in USD, it's in euros, it's in British pounds for your English Premiership, all of this stuff. So you have to take some of those, considerations, into mind. So you can almost see that they're trying to bend over backwards. We've had a couple of presentations where they talk about how they, price, keeping certain things the same, marginal increases on some. Maybe you take a risk and put something else up by a lot. So it's a tough balancing act that they find themselves.
And I mean, we also mentioned that they are locking prices for 2-year contracts, and then you end up paying the same price, the 2025 price for the next 2 years. Mudiwa, before I let you go, then what do you make then of the future and the evolution of the pay TV model? Because I think of accessing content and how easy it's become and how affordable it's become. And I know you've mentioned that MultiChoice has to pay these the people that are the companies that are supplying them with the content in the international market, and they have to account for that. But when I think of just the accessibility when it comes to content, people could be like, I can leave this and watch something on YouTube.
Exactly. So 2 things. Firstly, on the price lock, according to MultiChoice, a person, this is how they're trying to entice people, to stay on the platform. They're saying that subscribers can save 2,400 Rand over a 2-year period just by locking in their prices at the 2025 price. That's the first thing. Second thing, when it comes to the future of pay TV, it's once again one of the things that we have to acknowledge MultiChoice for. They've been able to keep people subscribing to pay television for all of these years. That's no easy feat. That's 8 million households in South Africa that are paying monthly for this thing. But as the internet proliferation comes in, that's where the real danger is, right? Unfortunately, if you look at the competition that they have on a broadcast front in South Africa, think SABC, think e-TV platforms that are free to air, right? They have been competing, but the content offering hasn't been compelling enough to get people to be like, nah, I'll completely get rid of my DStv. Yes, they lose subscribers, but people still see it as a more superior product. Real danger comes in what's called FAST, right? That's it should be free ad-supported television. I think that's, if I remember correctly, that's the acronym, where basically you've got that model, that you're seeing with the ease and the like, but online as streaming, right? And you're seeing so many different services that are offering, that type of thing. And I think if we see more of those channels coming into South Africa, because there's a connectivity issue that needs to be addressed, as people are consuming more stuff online, more smart devices, lower internet, that's the part where you say, okay, fine, that's the danger that that the likes of MultiChoice could run into. And even before FAST, just simple YouTube, like what you said, so much free content that's available there. And even if someone decides that they're gonna go YouTube Premium, less than 100 Rand.
Mudiwa, really, really tough position MultiChoice finds itself in. Thanks so much for just sharing those insights. That was Business Day's Mudiwa Gavaza. Brought to you by Ayoko, Africa's leading integrated technology services company.